Hey, Matt. How are you?
Good morning, Nicholas. How are you doing today?
Full stage again.
We have a full stage. We have a special guest again today. Hello, Lena.
Hi, guys. Happy to be here.
So
Wonderful.
exciting. Hey,
It is.
March. It's March Madness, right? So what's been going on?
Nicholas, the words March Madness might mean something to you, but I know Lena and I are big basketball fans, and this is the weekend that college basketball's men's and women's basketball tournaments are kicking off. Lots of upsets, lots of drama. These 2 days, yesterday and today, are the least productive days in U.S. working production or productivity of the year. People are supposed to be working, and everyone has their laptops on watching the games. They start at noon Eastern and go till midnight. So it's 12 hours of college basketball live for men and women over the next 4 days. So it's an exciting time of year for the basketball fans in our audience.
Is that why we keep seeing you watching something else all the time?
Yeah, well,
you have your TV on?
It's not on right now, but yeah, I'll stay focused for our pod.
All right, well, let's go on.
A couple hours. Go ahead, sorry.
All right, everybody, this is Nico with eStreamly, the company that gets you live stream and video commerce on your site, social media, email, SMS, wherever you are, the video is shoppable. So excited to be here. I'm with my great friend, as usual, Matt from QVC, the company, Matt from East Marketing, not QVC, the company that gets you on QVC and HSN. And today, we have a special guest, Lena Moriarty, coming all the way from California. The head of marketing at eTail, a great show that is happening across the US. Really recommend for people that don't know what to do with their couple days and wants to learn more about everything happening in marketing and e-com. Great to have you all. Matt, before we go there, why don't you tell us what the show is about?
Lena, we're excited to have you on today's show. This is called the VCommerce podcast. Nicholas and I get together every week at this time, 11 o'clock Eastern, to talk about everything happening in video commerce. What is video commerce? That's the storytelling platform that started out with direct response television, graduated into QVC and HSN, and now is shoppable. There's shoppable video everywhere and anywhere you turn. On your app, on your phone, almost everywhere you could watch video and buy product instantaneously. So we talk about the 2 or 3 hot topics of the week on this show. Nicholas and I have extensive background in this area, and we're excited for our guest today, Lena. Lena, first, please tell us your background, tell us what you do, and then what you saw in this week's news about video commerce.
Yes, I'm so excited to be here. So quick introduction. Hi, everyone. I'm Lena Moriarty. I'm the head of marketing for eTail. If you haven't heard of eTail, eTail is the #1 customer-driven community designed to power your growth. So what we are is we're events, dinners, insights, content, your 365 days a year community to keep you connected to the best in retail, technology, and e-commerce. And that's where you get to meet amazing, amazing technology providers like eStreamly. That's how we got connected. So I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So it sounds like you brought some really cool story, and one of them being with Lush, something that I personally came across while I was doing some research. And then you say, "Oh yeah, I know there's a lot of things going on with that company. So why don't you get started and tell us what this is about?"
Yes, I'm obsessed with Lush. So before we dive into it, I have to give some background. So give a little emoji or something if you've heard of Lush in the chat. Everyone has heard of it. It's become a household brand. But right at the beginning of the pandemic, you may not remember, but Lush decided to go completely off of socials. They went off socials. That means no Instagram, no TikTok, no Twitter. They're not present on social media. So they had said that they don't want their customers somewhere that they considered a place that was not really good for your mental health. And what that did was kind of set a really against the grain trend when you saw all of these brands completely leaning into their social media efforts. And now, here we are in 2025. TikTok shop is completely booming. Social commerce is the name of the game. Video shopping is everything and more. So where does that kind of leave Lush now, today's day and age? Do they regret it? Are they upset with their decision? No, they're not. And that's what I think is so interesting. And I want to share. They're almost doubling. So they have a chief digital officer, Jack Constantine. And he has said that by FY26, like next year, that they are planning to reduce Google spend to zero, which is wild, considering they're not on social platforms, not doing paid social, not doing organic, and they're also planning to reduce their Google ad spend to zero. That is so interesting. And they've also really begun rapidly reducing that by 50% or more. And they're still riding by that no social media policy, which is really, like I said, against the grain in today's day and age, and something that you don't really see all of the time. And I think that that's really interesting because they're also present on LinkedIn, Pinterest, and they're doing a lot of influencer and affiliate partnerships. So I feel like that kind of blurs the lines, though, a little bit, where you're still present on LinkedIn and Pinterest, but not on TikTok and Instagram. So I'm seeing the evolution of Lush as they're maintaining the course, and they're really focused on their customer-centric story. And they're not really worried about what the typical marketing funnel might look like because they're breaking that marketing funnel. So that's the background that I wanted to give on Lush. What do you guys think? That's such a big thing to do, a big statement.
I think it's kind of interesting, right? Especially when you think that we've been talking about leveraging video and content and social media and so many of the other dynamics going on there as a way to acquire customer, foster community and everything. And I think very often we forget that community, it doesn't has to be somewhere else, right? The community can be on your own platform. You have like company like Pentel, for instance, which is the pen company that are building community on site and on their app. And I think it's I've seen some more and more community. I think you've got Sephora that has this huge community on their website as well. And I think we tend to forget that there is a lot of things that can be done with your audience. What I'm super curious with that is how is when you are completely outside of social, and I don't know if you have some insight on that, Matt, but how do you continue acquiring customer, right? Because I guess the whole thing that is left for you is ad or word of mouth. And if you ads, if they are talking about cutting their own ad, then that left them with word of mouth. So I guess, that's that. I just found it so fascinating.
Yeah, you want to be where the customer is. So I don't totally understand the total direction of where they're going. And I know that social commerce is going to get bigger and bigger. Now, to be on platforms and not selling product, I completely understand because there's many brands that do that. But they make a concerted effort not to be on social. Like they're obviously anti-social media. I find it interesting, especially in the beauty space. I know, there's so many innovations and different things that are happening in beauty every day. So many companies that are so successful through social commerce and social media. They're bucking the trend. So bucking the trend, that kind of thing is exciting and amazing. And Lena, as you said, they continue to grow. I don't know how long they could sustain this kind of a thing. Nicholas, you and I talked about.
But they have been doing this for 3 years already, right?
I know, but I'm saying growing. Like, how do they expect to grow as social commerce and everything that we talk about each week continues to grow?
And I don't know for you, Lena, if you know that, but I'm assuming they're not a public company, right? So they don't have the public pressure of investors on their backs.
I don't believe that they are.
Yeah, you don't have to grow by the quarter. And maybe that's where they have that flexibility of being able to be who they are. Maybe they're happy with where they are from a growth perspective and their growth and just fostering their environment and their employee and all that. I just found it so fascinating story.
Nicholas, a couple of weeks ago, we talked about Google, or we talked about YouTube and children's programming. Yeah. And you were telling me about your kids watching YouTube, and sometimes ads pop up that are not children, relevant or even disruptive, right? I love one of those programs or one of those retailers that support children's programming, possibly to do something like this. And that would make sense to me. If a child, a PBS network affiliate or something chose not to be on social, because they're trying to protect children in that kind of a format. I completely support that. I wonder in this particular brand, beauty, which is really an adult female category, like exactly what they're trying to achieve. But it is, I mean, talk about interesting. It's a headline grabber. It's a very cool story.
And, you know, they're still on Pinterest. They're still on LinkedIn. They have made a purposeful choice not to be on platform where it's all about consumption, where the algorithm is feeding you to just being hooked. And I think that's maybe like the drawing line for them. But I just, fascinating story. Yeah. And talking about being hooked to content, I think you brought an interesting story, right?
No. So as you know, my background is QVC and HSN. I work in the home shopping category. I'm at QVC all the time. I was there all week, really, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of this week, and yesterday. And I see how the brand's developing over this social selling and social commerce world. And they just appointed a new president and chief growth officer, which they've never had someone with that title, named Alex Wallen. So Alex Wallen's got 20 years of digital media and product innovation experience. His background is about social selling, streaming, and digital content. So this is really exciting for people that follow HSN and QVC and have wondered how they're going to develop and how they're going to take that next step forward as people are cord cutting and not watching cable as much as they used to. How will they develop? I think Alex's priority in his new role is to help QVC and HSN transition into that social selling. And I will say, I will say that QVC and HSN are already in social selling. They already do a lot of work through Facebook and Instagram, and they've been QVC's been on TikTok for the last 6 months or so, TikTok Shop. So they already are part of it, but they haven't put like both feet in the water yet, I guess you'd say. They haven't really spent a lot of money on paid content or even using their own platform or their own talent to sell products that they have available to sell on the network through their .com and through their TV platform. So this guy, Alex Wallen, is kind of meant to transition them into that next level. And personally, Lena, I think I've always said QVC is like the grandmother of social selling. Like they started it over 40 years ago. HSN's actually closer to 50 years old at this point. So they kind of figured out this, we call it the girlfriend-to-girlfriend sales approach of how to connect with a consumer directly and help them and encourage them for impulse purchase shopping, buying the product right then and there. So just like social selling is today. So I'm excited for this man, Alex Wallen, to start to see what he could possibly do with QVC and HSN.
I believe it's going to be like, I mean, the guy's a content guy, right?
I have to jump in here because I am so excited as well. I think that, really the growth potential, because like you said, QVC is the blueprint. I feel like we hear QVC as the blueprint of social selling, the godmother of social selling. They have outlined what people are doing on TikTok Shop, how they're getting the sales done on TikTok Shop. So using that blueprint, I think if they take that and explore in influencer marketing and get the right hosts to sell those products, they have hit a gold mine. I'm really excited about that. And we've had a really great speakers come from QVC to e-tail and have shared some amazing examples of how they're connecting with the customer because they have that ability to, like you said, cut through a lot of that noise. And the girlfriend-to-girlfriend selling approach is really great. And expanding into those markets is going to be such an exciting kind of trajectory.
So I have a contrarian thought. I think the guy is a content guy, and we're going to see a shift to our content first. And it's, if you think of it, like I think it's, I believe that maybe the idea is that how do we push more content up front, and the byproduct is the sell, as opposed like the Mattel strategy. And I wonder, if that is, if it's because the guy started his career as a writer, right? And so he's a content guy, has been into many position of content. He's not like in the selling mode, and he's not coming from a social perspective. So that, I don't know. I think it's going to be TBD, but I think there's some. And if you think of it, Matt, we were talking about this in December where they were releasing their like more content first type approach. So maybe they're trying to play on that. And in fact, it's a good transition for what's happening in the content world, right? Because Here we are. I think it was just recently, Macy's announced that they are also getting in the content space. Well, they were already in some way in the content space, right? If you think about, they have the parade, they have the what's the other one they call the fireworks, right? I found out that the parade is a 31.7 million viewers for the Macy's parade on watching on TV. So they're already in the content. Just like more live content in a way. And then the fireworks is 7.6. They actually have a deal with NBC for over 10 years for exclusive right. But what's interesting is like Macy's is trying to get now into the storytelling, leveraging their legacy with their brand and everything. And what they're doing is like, there's this novel that was written by this artist, Julie Sato. The book is called When Women Ran Fifth Avenue, Glamour and Power at the Dawn of American Fashion. And that person actually wrote this book, and it was a bestseller. And now Macy's is trying to adapt that book and make it available and broadly available for at some point they're going to make it broadly available to the audience. What's super interesting to me is like this article is really comparing with the strategy of Barbie and what it had done for Mattel. And I think like everyone talks about Macy being like this legacy dinosaur store where they have more assets in their physical retail than anything else, like just the real estate itself versus the rest of the business. But they have this historical legacy and the power of making people dream. And so if they start embracing content, and by the way, the product become the byproduct of how they make this story live, I think it's fascinating. And it's another way of thinking about video commerce. And I'd just be fascinated by that.
Lena, what do you think?
Completely agree. So, it brings me back to Palm Springs last month where Scott Lux was talking about a content first holistic approach. And I love that Macy's is fully leaning into this content first because they already have the brand legacy. They're Macy's. Everyone knows Macy's. It's a household name, but they're still having trouble connecting with the customer. How can you break down and give a little bit of the person behind the brand? You can make amazing content. And I think that that's what people are really leaning into nowadays. It's how can we cut through some of this digital noise in a way that is impactful for the customer? And I think that I love the trajectory of Macy's going from like these huge, fireworks, the parade, and having these amazing deals that are getting their impact out there, but they're taking it a step further because they can, because they are Macy's. So I'm really excited to see where that goes because I love a holistic content approach.
Yeah, I'm fan about. Pardon me to cut you, but I'm fan of a guy called Marcus Sheridan, and keeps saying he wrote a book called "They Ask You Answer," and it's on the recent book and his recent thing that's been saying any company that don't realize they have a media company, they're gone, and I think this is the reality, right? This is what it is coming.
Yeah, you can't. I don't think it's unfair. And the article that you quoted mentioned, the Barbie movie in 2023. That was such an iconic event with marketing and selling and the hype that went into that movie. Like it obviously was extremely successful, and it elevated the already elevated Barbie doll as like an iconic, even more iconic figure than the Barbie doll already is. And they produced a high quality, phenomenal, high Hollywood movie. And I don't think anything can compare to that. However, I appreciate Macy's, as Lena mentioned, they got into social selling for the last couple of years, and I don't think they found it worked. So they kind of stepped back. Obviously, you mentioned the Thanksgiving Day Macy's Day Parade, which is an iconic American. First off, Thanksgiving is an iconic day, and then everyone tunes into the Macy's Day Parade Thanksgiving morning. So they've already, to your point, Nicholas, are already involved in live content and live the element of live entertainment as opposed to selling product. So this TV series honoring and really talking about women that shape department stores is a great platform for Macy's as a whole. Now we'll see what the TV series is like. We'll see if these I assume like mini documentaries will resonate with the viewers. But I applaud them for doing this. I applaud them from shifting from one thing to the next, and they're trying to capture an audience like every other retailer, already well established in retail, and they're trying to get into social selling. And so that's all very positive.
Well, we are almost at time. So we got a fourth story about TikTok and search. And Lena, why don't you come on stage and tell us more about it?
Yes. I'll leave the crowd with this. It's that at eTail Palm Springs, Christina Nolan, VP of Media Services at DMI Partners, was telling the audience that TikTok search is officially out of beta. What does that mean for the modern day marketer? So officially it was rolled out to a few, put in beta mode, and now it's out of beta. I think I have a little inkling that they're coming for Google. Talk about Nicholas, can we start on TikTok search terms? People are using TikTok as a new search platform, especially the younger generation. And that's such a core spending power of so many products that are available right now. So what is next for it? I'm not sure, but I felt like I had to mention it on the VCommerce show because I do think your listeners would want to know for sure. So I'm really excited to see the future of that. Do you have any thoughts on what's to come?
Yeah, Nicholas, we talked about this in previous episodes, how TikTok is becoming a search tool. It is interesting. I don't know much about this, the beta testing that they did, but it was a la Google. Google needs to worry about this because if TikTok obviously becomes official, after this little whatever they're going through right now with the U.S. government, I think this is one of those things where they're going to start chipping away at what Google does so well, which is search. It is very, very interesting.
On top of that, they have the AI problem that they need to figure it out. And I think it was on Perplexity, I got my first recommendation as a sponsored recommendation on my search. So if AI is doing search, now I'm like doing their recommendation and you pay. And we know that, that has really chopped away a bunch of traffic on search, right? People are going directly to AI to ask their question now. And now TikTok is also going after their dominance on search is going to be certainly changing.
Agreed.
Well, it's been a great episode, Matt, again. But before we go, like any special shout out, maybe? Or
I got a quick one, if you don't mind. Mary Beth Rowe is truly one of the iconic women in home shopping. She's been at QVC for 38 years. Tonight is her last night on air at QVC. So they've been honoring her over the last month with great shows and content, pulling out old videos, amazing. And tonight between 8 and 10 a.m., the show's called My Time with Mary Beth. This is her final 2 hours on air at QVC. She's an amazing woman. I know her very well. I wish her all the success in retirement. And if you get a chance to tune in or record the QVC from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern tonight, you're going to see social selling and connection to the customer and storytelling in a beautiful, beautiful way.
Love it. Lena, do you have any special shout out for the audience before we go?
One more from me, Matt. I'll definitely be tuning into Mary Beth. Congrats on your retirement. Huge fan of QVC, so I'll give that shout out. But everyone that's listening, I would love to see everyone at our next eTail event stateside. It's at eTail Boston this August 11th to 14th at the Sheridan. So we'll be there and we're talking everything: video commerce, social commerce, AI, everything that you could possibly want to know. So I hope to see you there.
All right, awesome. Well, it was an awesome, great episode. Thanks everyone for being here. We are here every Friday on LinkedIn as well as on Facebook. And then we obviously repost those videos on Spotify, as well on Apple and also on YouTube. So if you find us on any of those platforms, please feel free to check us out. We are also using the Streamly platform. If you want to play out, we have that on Streamly. You can watch the stream there as well. If you're interested and can register and get an SMS every time we go live. It was been fantastic. We hope to see you. And obviously, as usual, if you have any questions, if you have any special guests you would like us to bring on, just ping us and we will be happy to figure out how we can make this happen. Bye, everyone. And then we'll see you again Friday. Thank you, Lena, for being here.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, guys, for having me.